put a bunch of money into it. We're doing our best the same way we used to do in Australia, and again, what we did here. And for the last probably 4 years, it's just been going backwards. Sales have been slow. We've been doing everything we can, ploughing money into it. Things have been quiet in Australia as well.
Well, you're doing everything that you can that most humans think is everything that you can, but have you harnessed the power of the vortex?
We've been
because the segment intending that you're doing right now is in response to how it's going. So it's like getting out your notebook and writing, I feel things aren't going well. And it feels like things have not been going well for quite a long time. I'm feeling financially bound because we've put a bunch of money into it that seems to be futile. And we're not making fun of you. We are acknowledging that these statements that we're reflecting back only reflect the way you feel, and you're a key component in this. And the way you feel is an indication of where you're at in terms of your cooperation with what's in the vortex. Now, we know that when the idea hatched about this, you had some big ideas, and they're good ones. And we know that cooperative components came around, but then you and others, mostly from the influence of others, but you began letting the current set of circumstances be the reason that your thoughts flow the way they do. So it's like you're following what is rather than leading what is. You know what's really important is that if your inner being did not believe in this project, then your negative thoughts would not feel negative. It's the opposing thoughts that are causing the negativity. So the worse you feel is the greater indicator that you're squandering the well-being that is there waiting for you. In other words, if you were on the wrong track and there was another development that is better for you, and that the path of least resistance was for you to just get out and move on to something else, then every thought that you have, like the ones that you just said to us, would feel invigorating to you. But the fact that none of that felt invigorating to you means that your inner being sees this project entirely differently. And the cooperative components have been lined up, but you're not letting them in because you're facing reality rather than creating it.
We love this project. We put everything into it. We totally love it. It's a beautiful project. It's quite different to anything here, but it's...
You know,
we've got a few people who absolutely love it and have bought there.
It's a lot like, though, we really want you to hear this because this can be a big turning point for you. It's a lot like a parent who really loves his or her child, who sees the child as not going to make it. Such a good kid. I love him so much, but he's such a wackadoodle. He can't remember anything I tell him to do. He leaves his backpack at school every day. I don't know what he's going to do when he has to go off to school. I guess I'll have to go with him. This project is something that you want success from. You can't have it both ways. You can't love it and see it as failing at the same time. Those are not vibrationally accurate vibrations.
How do we bring it back, though? I mean, we're in trouble with the bank now. We've actually had to sell our home in Perth. We're renting. My wife's been stacking shelves at a grocery store. I've been doing odd jobs. We've basically run out of money. We're trying to run a $30 million job with
you have done the best job that we've ever heard of a segment intending against yourself. And we know you're not making this up.
I'm meditating every day. I'm trying to do
You're telling it like it is, but what we're getting at is once something starts to turn in that way and you follow the thoughts with it and you let those thoughts dominate the way you feel, so you no longer believe in this, instead you believe in this, because the evidence is there and you'd have to be a nutcase to believe in something you can't even see.
We're trying to get back there.
Well, the way you get back there is by finding some distance between the reality of it. And don't listen to other people. Listen to your inner being. Listen to what you've got going on. How many stories have you heard? And this is a very common one, where someone had a dream, it went pretty good, then it went south, then it was almost to the point of complete bankruptcy, and right before bankruptcy, it turned around. And then they wondered, why did we put ourselves through so much suffering when it was going to turn around all the time? Jerry, who was a financial counselor long before he met us, asked us the questions once we began dialoguing. He said, I see people getting into financial problems, and first they lose their boat, and then they lose their second car that they don't need so much, and then they lose this, and once they've lost everything, then it turns around and they start coming back up. He said, why couldn't it start coming back up after the boat was gone? And we said, because until it's all gone, they don't let go of that fear that it's going to go. And as long as they've got the fear that it's going to go, then it keeps going. But once it's all gone, that fear goes away. Well, nothing else to lose. So you get to decide. You've got to find a way to feel about it the way you want to feel about it, not the way it looks like it's going. And that takes some focus. You know what it really takes? It takes getting off the subject, because you've practiced that subject so well, and it's understandable why you would, that subject is unchangeable right now.
Yeah, that's not unchangeable, I don't.
Oh, the outcome isn't unchangeable, but the way you feel about it right now, that's the way we began today. A belief is a belief that you continue to think, and you've got that belief pretty well entrenched, and you keep talking back and forth about it, and so you keep that belief active. A belief is just a thought that you keep active. But here's the thing. Imagine a pile of sticks, and each stick is a different subject. There's this Dallas project, and there's what else? There's children.
I've got grown-up children. I've got grandchildren.
What other subjects might be in your pile? There's coming to an Abraham seminar. What other sticks might be in your pile?
Yeah, I meditate. I do yoga. My wife. One joy that's come out of this. Even though we
don't want a long story here.
Okay. My wife and I are really strong. We're actually stronger than we ever were after going through this.
We don't want to hear that either, because we know all of that, but that's irrelevant right now, because that's not what's active in your vibration.
So what else is in my vibration?
So what other sticks might be in the pile?
It's grandkids.
Grandkids, what else?
Music. I'm a musician.
So now we've got some sticks in the pile. So now each stick, on one of it is wanted, and on the other end of it is lack of what is wanted. And you have a different vibrational relationship with each of these sticks. And the stick called this project right now, every time you pick it up, even though you want to think about it in success, you don't. So don't pick that stick up for a while. Instead, pick up some stick that it's easy to feel in alignment about. And do you know what happens? When you pick up any stick, there could be 100 sticks, and most of them you don't feel that good about. But when you pick up the one or two that you do feel good about, by bringing it to mind, and you focus on it in the way that you naturally do, where your beliefs are, all the other sticks are affected by the resonance that you found with that one subject. If you can, for some time every day, we're not telling you to abandon your project. We're just telling you to get other subjects active in yourself, to give yourself some vibrational leverage, so to speak. Also, do you meditate?
I do, yeah, every morning.
Describe to us just a little bit what that process is for you.
At the moment, it's really difficult, because
then we don't want to hear about
it. It's a 24/7.
So here's what we mean by meditation. So we mean 20 minutes. Esther often gets up especially early so that she can get that in no matter what. Her pickup for her flight yesterday was 4 a.m. So she got up really early so that she could get all the things in that she wanted to do before that early pickup. So sit for 20 minutes and focus on something. She likes the sound of the air conditioner because it doesn't evoke any thought. And so just allow your mind to quiet and allow your vibration to rise. And as your vibration rises, you become a vibrational match for the time of that raised vibration with the success of this project and all other things that you've put into your vortex. You become, for that period of time, a cooperative component to everything else there. And in that 20 minutes of meditation, you might only accomplish that alignment in the last 2 or 3 minutes of it. But even then, that brief amount of time in complete concert with your inner being, who is experiencing the awesome power of non-resistant thought. As you feel the relief of that, you've done more work than you could do if you spent 24/7 on this project. We're not kidding you. We want you to utilize the leverage of this. It's big time leverage. It's leverage that is indescribable in terms of your physical physics. Humans don't even understand the leverage of this. You all had a good laugh over Esther's yeehaw, but that was not a coincidence. And it was not an accident. It was source energy in on something fun and cooperative components playing along with it. Do you see what we're getting at? Esther was the first cooperative component, and the man on the airplane was the second one, just for the thrill of giving Esther a little rush in the moment, just for her remembering that we're all in this together and that there are cooperative components everywhere. You don't think that source energy is all over this project with you? You don't think that all of the thoughts that you've put into it are active and that there isn't a huge amount of non-physical consciousness working on that, aware of that, you see? But when you hold yourself in resistance to it, as you face reality that's changing every minute anyway, don't you want to reach for a different stick and give the universe a chance to show you what it's got going for you? Don't you want to just allow yourself, just for a little bit, just a little more every day, to be a little more cooperative component? And we're saying to you, you're more likely to be more of a cooperative component to this magnificent project when you're not thinking about it than when you are for a while. And that's what we meant earlier. Don't think about it and let the magic happen. Don't think about it and let the magic happen. And don't think about it and let the magic happen. And don't think about it and let the magic happen. And if you will meditate every day until those thoughts are wafting into your mind, you'll get a clear thought about something to do. And when you do, you'll know it. It will be so strong and clear. Follow that and then watch what happens. And before you know it, you'll have your hands back in the clay, and you won't need to avoid thinking about this project, because you'll be on fire again with it like you were in the beginning. You'll be on fire with it, and then you'll be more specific and more specific and more specific with the thoughts as you run faster and faster and faster and faster with it. This cannot fail. It is already a vibrational reality. It cannot fail. Now, you can hold yourself apart from it for as long as you decide to. You can decide to play the game the way most humans play the game. Let's face the facts. Or you can play the game the way non-physical plays the game. Let's create a world. Let's create worlds. Let's flow energy. You can be or do or have whatever you're wanting. Your inner being knows that, you see. Whew, it's going to be so much fun. Now, is your wife in the room with you?
No, I come along.
Buy these recordings.
Yeah.
What's she going to say when she hears them?
When she found out I was coming to see you, she said, what? She was so angry at me because she wanted to be here.
Because the reason we ask is, and we usually don't, but the reason we ask is, if you two will talk to each other this way.
We do.
But this is a new way. You've been talking to each other in a way that's not helping you. You've been talking to each other about what is. We know you do some of it, but we're talking about the way you feel. Lip service doesn't count. It took us a little while to get you revved up here. Did you feel it? Did you feel yourself click over? Did you feel yourself become a cooperative component to your own project?
I absolutely did.
Yeah, we did too.
Thank you so much.